head. Next is going to be neck
Itty-bitty.
pillows.
These neck pillows kind of fire, Loki. I bought this originally when we were gonna go to when we went to Colorado to go see Porter Robinson. And I just forgot it. Porter Robinson.
That's his first name?
That's not a real name.
That's
a
his real name.
His first name is
What's the big deal?
Okay.
his first name is Port, middle name last name Robinson.
Yeah, that
Colin,
makes sense.
or Jordan, I'm gonna let that go because that was supposed to be a joke. Okay.
Or
But you're on thin ice, okay, buddy?
Port, middle name Herb, because that sounds better.
Look at this is you right now, digging your own grave, buddy.
Fishing.
I'm not afraid of holes or the dark.
Bad as charades. Go do another one.
JFK.
Damn it.
Taxes.
JFK, that's fucked.
Taxes.
No taxes.
Standing in line to
Give me a
vote
hint.
for...
Forget it.
Forget it.
Oh, it's Bass Pro Shop.
Doctor. Doctor on a bus. Doctor on a boat.
Oh, bless me.
Doctor on a train.
What are you doing? I'm not.
There's
we're
not much left.
we're not
Richard.
playing
There's
the
not many
game.
Things you could be on.
We're not playing the game anymore.
Fine, I win then.
No, that's not.
Keep
how it
going.
works. I'm
Don't
sorry.
stop.
No, I win. 1 point, Colin.
All right,
All right, now I'm gonna do one.
About time Colt turned on the cam. If you ask me.
One finger.
One word.
I'll go and turn it off.
Safe.
Nevin, I was gonna make a joke.
Basketball.
If you were not here when I got here, I was gonna talk so
Spin.
much shit.
Cotton
I
candy.
was gonna be like, dude, what is he?
Dig.
Why are we even playing if he's gonna be that late?
Swimming.
Part the sea.
One
One
word.
Moses,
Clap. Jiggy boogie.
TikTok
Dancing.
dance.
Cheerleader.
Rolling up.
Rebecca,
You're pissing me off. You're not even trying.
Start
One
naming
word.
people.
One word.
Tiffany.
Surprise.
Wow.
Candace.
Cheering.
Yell.
Cheerleader.
Swim.
You sure it's
Oh,
not like
oh god, I'm getting
Drill.
bored.
Shot put.
Track.
when he does this? what
Trackmania,
does this mean?
Shot put. Shot put. Jumping.
skiing,
Fight.
Punching. Olympics.
rollerblading.
I don't
Ice
understand.
games.
He just got discouraged.
Wait.
One word.
Still one word.
Together. Sumo.
Wide.
Football.
Tai Chi.
Oh, huddle.
Huddle.
Colt got it.
Football.
What
was
was it?
Football.
How is this football?
What the
Because I'm
fuck?
pushing through.
He's
There's
swimming.
You gotta
Wading
push
through
through
them
the
all.
line of scrimmage. Have you ever fucking
Why don't
watched?
you?
I did that.
I didn't see
This
any
looks like a
movement of. if
Hey,
you
good
could have
work.
just
Good
went
work,
like this, Colin. You could have went.
This is the coach. This is the
This-
coach. These are the cheerleaders.
Touchdown.
No, this is the
Touchdown.
coach.
What was
is the
this?
Yeah,
defense.
Drew, that's
What
a
was
good-
this?
that's a
That's the
good one.
cheerleaders.
Good, Nevin.
You can't use props and
Look,
charades. Are you
that's
fucking
true.
stupid?
I guess that's also
Are you
true.
fucking
isn't it?
dumb in the
You could have went
head?
like this.
That's your friend, bro. Stop saying that.
Listen, Richard, you gave up. I don't want to hear shit from you. Ah, damn. This is why we don't play fucking charades. Because y'all suck.
We should do charades.
I'm getting off.
Let's not play D&D. Let's just play.
He's
charades.
gonna be angry DMing and stuff, so he's gonna kill at least 3 of
Too
us.
hostile.
Colt got it. Colt's the only one who got it.
Too hostile.
So we know Colt's surviving.
Enough, Shorla.
What'd you fucking call me?
No. Sure, Lord. I like that.
I see some notes on your keyboard
That's a
there.
deep cut.
Shoop's still playing Trackmania. I can see it in his glasses.
Oh, he's
What are you taking notes on? Writing a book or
that's
something?
these are my D&D notes. You want to see them?
Yeah.
It's like game plans.
It says to kill list.
To-do list. I mean.
Gordon.
Now, Shoop.
Tonight's the night.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, so now that everybody's in here,
I like that.
sorry, I really gotta calm down a little bit.
Oh, I
Calm
gotta
down.
join the listening
Calm
party.
down. Calm
Calm
down.
down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down. What's he
There
doing?
was-
Is he gonna come jump on your bed?
God, I hope not.
I hope there's a listening party. There is.
The padlock
there?
I put on my door wasn't working, so I had to
Oh,
get
shit.
like old-fashioned style, like little hooks and a big ass 2x4.
Old
Because
fashioned style.
he'll break through it if I don't have that.
Mm.
Sometimes I hear him just sprint and boom and bounce off the door.
You know, it's kind of. It's honestly, it's kind of mean you don't let him in your room now.
Yeah, it's really fucked.
He just wants to hang out, dude.
It's like you
Well, you could ask.
What is it? Friday. Why can't I think of it? Friday
Friday
Five
night.
Nights at Freddy's. When the sound of them running down the hallways and they would bang on the door. That's kind of like me in the middle of the night. And the headset comes up. Do, 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 boom.
And I hear him fall
And
to
if
the
he
ground. He's
doesn't-
like, shit.
And then the fingers under the door.
Like a cat just shaking the door.
Yeah, Richard plays a little mini game every day of like, can he get the deadbolt in before I can slam into the door? A la Friday at Friday night.
Colin sees it as a game. I don't. I'll feel
Colin,
No, I
you ever
see
go
it
to
as
the
like
window
a-
and try and
I
open
see it
his
like a
window
hunt.
up?
I'm like, what?
A hunt. He says.
He's just outside his window. just
Maybe you
looking
should
in.
lock that door.
He's
Maybe
tried
you
to
have a good
convince
point.
me that I have night terrors, but it's just him fucking outside my door.
Yeah, if he leaves the window out, I can like feel the air pressure in the house, and I'll go outside the window and go, Richard, let me in.
That's good.
He
That's
starts
good stuff.
tapping on the
And
window.
then I talked to him about the next day. He's like, "You're fucking crazy, dude."
Yeah, I gaslight him.
That's gaslighting.
I respect
Rich-
that.
Richard, tell
Well,
him
his-
what I told you when you were sleeping in the room next to me. When you came and stayed over, and you were sleeping.
I'm trying to remember. I'm drawing a
Yeah,
blank.
I
doesn't
Oh,
remember.
no, he doesn't
Wow.
remember.
Damn, you really hung about to dry like that, Richard?
I was sleeping in his baby's
Wait, hold on.
room.
Oh,
I remember he said
Weird.
something.
Wow.
Just
You're
say it,
sleeping
bro.
in-
Just say it. I'm sorry. I'm letting you down here.
I told him, I said I have night terrors, and it's hard for me to sleep. So if he makes any noise in the night, he's gonna get 6 warning shots to the chest.
That's a scary warning.
He said,
He's like-
if you need to go to the bathroom,
Yeah, he was
Go
like, "Don't
downstairs."
use the restroom.
Just straight through the wall.
Piss in a cup. You can throw it out in the morning. It's not worth your life."
I promise you a stain on the floor. We both would rather have that.
a stain on the floor than a stain on my career.
I don't know why he sleeps with a gun in his hand.
Just- his
And the
fingers
finger,
on the
safety
trigger.
off, finger on the trigger.
Yeah, he's a
Concept.
psychopath.
I was making noise in the night. His finger just like slowly starts creeping. And then he leaves.
Sometimes he just shoots one. It scares himself awake.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then he just unloads.
And Macy, she also is like learned behavior. Sometimes couples take on each other's. So she's got a gun too, and it turns into
They have to sleep in
each
like
other off.
separate titanium fucking like little shells.
Yeah, they both have riot shields between them, so they can just
They got
pop
a
off whenever they
Mr.
need.
Mrs. Smith situation going on.
That sounds horrible.
Man.
All right, well,
I gotta go.
now that we're all fucking like hyped up, somebody's gonna have to get drunk tonight. It's part of the story, so let's all roll a d20 to see who that's gonna be.
Oh. Yeah.
Wait, what? No,
D20.
highest or lowest has to do it.
Well,
Whatever.
You don't.
Who cares?
You don't know that. You don't know that yet.
Natural
I'm in the
20.
middle.
6.
That's Johnny. I got an 8.
That's why he said who
I'm in the
cares.
middle. I'm good.
Oh no!
A
I got
12.
I got a 2.
All right, Isaac.
Good luck, bud.
Get to it. So every time somebody rolls a d20 tonight, he's gonna do half a shot. This is the new kind of drinking rules.
Oh God.
Holy shit.
What do you mean by that?
That's
Wait a minute. That's like a rules thing?
We average like 20 D20 rules.
You do 10 shots a night.
He's just guy. He goes to the liquor store.
He's gone for an hour.
Hey, give me 20 minutes, guys.
Calls on his phone. He's at the liquor store.
What should I buy?
What do I get?
You just see his camera on his dash. He just
I gotta get fucked up.
He's going the wrong way on his street. He's going down the one way, the wrong way.
why are we exuding the energy of like we haven't played in weeks? I'm wondering that.
Because we're all gonna die.
I'm
It's not like
sweating
that.
right now.
Because we're all
I am
gonna
too.
die.
The calm before the storm.
Yep.
Mm.
The question is, who's gonna die first?
It's
My
gonna
money-
be you.
My money's on Gaius. He's squishy.
Also, I need healing.
I've
know.
got my money on
Oh, I got you.
two individuals named Tormund and Vinric.
He's got an arrow. Fucking.
Yeah. And I might
This is
have a
straight
little bit
Everclear.
of pull in that decision.
All right, here we go.
This is straight Everclear.
Well,
Don't do
Cheers.
now that we're all here, why don't we go ahead and jump into tonight's game of our Tales of Foundation? Because
Woo.
last time,
Yep.
our heroes at the western gates of Fort Capstone, after eradicating Savias Detramore, the minstrel of the Insong, whatever the fuck that means, they're just words. Nothing is real. After ending the life of the creator of this undead army, apparently, a battle was held outside, with our warriors fighting off waves of undead assisted by the archers of the remaining soldiers within the fort. Spells were given off, huge explosions, fireballs, demons slicing and dicing, and then eventually the wave of undead became to come faster and faster. And out in the distance, on the western side, where the demonic towers and armies reside, maybe a mile away, huge pillars formed of what looks to be molten, compressed ash struck up, 3 in number, and spears began to rain down. These large, almost stake-like weapons were chucked at our hero Vinric, severing multitudes of muscle, sinew, and tissue across his body. And as the undead hordes became to overcome, 2 more figures were noticed on the other 2 pillars. Large reptilian scaled, our blue and white companions, Baragra, the first spark, and Akantep, the first frost, are mounts for our heroes. In a rush, Redalus made forward to rescue his companion through the field under the invisibility, the magical invisible spell that he had cast on himself, whilst Vinric, Tormund, and Gaius, now commanding the archers, made their way back to the walls to try and escape. Because as they noticed throughout the battle, a familiar enemy from not too long ago, these tentacled demonic creatures that emerged out from the undead carcasses of these giants, as they were taking more and more damage, begin to engorge and grow in what would come to be an explosive manner. Our heroes, knowing this, attempted to push them back, utilize them against the undead forces, but it seems as if Wrath had another plan in mind. Seeing the heroes' idea, he no longer began to attack our champions, but the monsters themselves, presumably extending the explosive radius. This is a little too high. Let's make something a little bit more sad. Yeah, that's definitely better.
Much better.
More
Vinric, Tormund,
sad.
Gaius, shouting at the guards remaining on the walls to flee, made their way back towards the walls. These 20-foot tall parapets, reinforced with only the timber from the forests around the city of Capstone. Akuji, retreating back, also trying to utilize the crystal that he had gained from the underground catacomb-like tunnels. This strange magical enhancement, which seemed to disperse his magic, also fled. Redolus fleeing the other way, scaling the top of the Ash Tower to get to Baragra, and in one final attempt trying to release, was realized by the entity known as Wrath, the icon of Ash, whatever the fuck that means. Words, made up words. As Wrath jumped from his pillar and landed on top of the Blue Dragon and the Fleet Admiral of the Lucid Line, one final chance was had, not only by Redolus, by another companion. Goran, the first hand of the Scale Wardens, attempted in one final maneuver to try and repress this magic that was going to explode from this demon creature. And unfortunately, the divine magic of Bahamut could not find them at this time, and already wounded from a similar experience, was lagging behind the rest. And we ended the last game in a simultaneous conclusion. As Redolus pushed with all of his weight, Goliath strength, the cage that Baragra was held in dropped off the 30-foot pillar. And as the large white explosion, turning into these crackling reds, emanated and expanded over the battlefield and the walls. As Redolus falls from the pillars, and Goran remains atop the walls, extending one final branch of divinative magic. We pick up right back at that scenario. So this is what I need from everybody. Go back to the battlefield.
Ooh, that's zoomed in.
Unknown the radius of this explosion and the damage that is going to accumulate from this, Akuji, Tormund, Venric, and Gaius, all four of you, rushed, shouting at the guards, the clerics, the archers that were there to run from the walls. And as they're going, you look back and you see stood atop the walls Goran. And as you're making your way through, you guys probably gain a whole nother round of movement as the explosion emanates. For a split second, as you're looking at the precipice of the wall, everything just goes dark, like shadowed dark. Like when you change from a bright room to a dark room, and then the white light emanates immediately in front of your eyes. Redolus, as you're tumbling down the side of the pillar with Baragra's chains, as it impacts the side of the pillar. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a large white explosion. The similar shadow overcomes your vision. For a split second, the only light that differentiates from the expanding white sphere are the two almost like glowing embers at the top of the pillar peering down at you. I need as this all happens at once, I need everybody to roll me dexterity saving throws. Now, everybody by the walls, except for Goran, you will have advantage because the walls themselves will kind of buffet some of the blast. And the damage here is also, it's not just like if you're 1 foot into the radius, you take all of it. There's like levels as it expands out and how far you are from the epicenter. If you remember the last time you fought this thing, you guys were like 30 feet from it when it exploded. So you took like the full brunt of the damage.
Goran lost a leg.
Goran, you are at disadvantage. Completely.
Rolled a 12.
18.
24.
11.
So this is going to determine the damage we take. This dexterity saving
correct.
this roll.
Correct.
So can we use inspiration on this one, or
If you'd like to. If you would like to.
That's a good idea, Gordon.
why not?
Because this might be it.
And I'm gonna
23.
I'm sorry if you already said it, I'm gonna have to go through one by one because you are all in different kind of areas and stuff. So okay. We'll start with Guidus.
24.
You succeed. Akuji,
12.
you fail. Venric.
So I rolled an 11, so I failed. I'm going to go ahead and do Indomitable, which is reroll saving throw that you fail here.
Okay, and you already did it with advantage too?
Yeah.
Okay.
With this one, it's going to be a dirty 20.
You succeed. Tormund.
18.
You succeed. Barely. Redolus. You
23.
will also have advantage, so
Okay.
because
I
you
got
are
a
far
23.
enough away. What'd you get?
23.
Succeed. Goran. What did you get?
Okay, earlier you said I had disadvantage on this roll, or no?
You had disadvantage, and if you use your inspiration, that would
It's just a
cancel out, so
straight
it'd be a
roll.
straight roll.
Fuck. So do I need a re-roll then? Because I rolled 2, thinking I had advantage or use the inspiration. So I just do a straight roll. Or what do I do since I already have
That's
2
how
dice?
I think that's
if you
fair.
rolled them at the same time, that's how I would roll it. You just roll straight roll.
Come
Straight
on.
roll.
Come on,
One
Jordan.
dice.
Come on, Jordan.
Okay.
This is a different
Never
week.
rolled.
It's a different week.
Never rolled bad in my life.
I don't like that face.
No.
Is it good or bad?
Oh,
Okay,
That's
okay.
good.
Let's go.
an
So that's a
18.
20. That's a dirty 20.
Let's go.
You succeed.
Bring it on, explodey boy.
I swear to God, if that was another natural one, I was gonna be like, throw all your dice away.
So, as you are all fleeing from the wall, there is a crashing, explosive sound that comes forth from the wall. As the first creature erupts in this explosive light, it cascades across the battlefield, and for a second, everything around the battlefield, the hulking masses of undead, the sprawling and frantic, manic, crawling undead who are scaling the walls, are just turned to ash. Goran, as you stand on top of the wall, you see almost like a wall approaching. It begin to shear away the front of the wall. And as that expands slowly, this is all fractions of a second as it begins to expand out. That's the first creature that explodes. Now I need everybody to roll again for the second larger creature.
I had a feeling. Same rules,
Yep.
advantage for stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So now I have
28.
disadvantage.
28. Oh, 19
Inspiration,
on that
Nevin.
Succeed.
That's a big 7, dog.
Fail.
one. Oh, right behind you, dog.
22.
21. kind of panicking right now.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
come?
that's fair.
I
Uh,
get, yeah, go ahead.
So sorry, Venric, what'd you get?
Well, even with advantage, I failed the first two, so I used my last Indomitable,
Uh-huh.
and I got the same 17 on the die for a dirty 20 again.
Good shit, dude. Very nice. Lucky,
Redolus.
lucky.
22.
Succeed. Goran.
9.
Fail. Okay. So I am imagining that Guidus and Redolus, you succeeded both. You will take none of this damage because it's a dex save, correct? You both have
Yeah.
evasion.
Yeah.
Invasion.
So everybody who succeeded on the first roll, you will take 67 points of fire damage. Or yeah, if you succeeded, sorry. Okay, I gotta break this down because this is the first one. You will take 67 points of fire damage. Everybody who was behind the wall, so that would be Akuji, Tormund, Venric, and Guidus. You will take half that. So you will take 33 points of fire damage if you succeeded.
Benric's down on the first one.
Could I, since I'm farther away from the explosion than Venric, could I use my spirit shield to reduce it?
You can.
Okay. You take 10 less
for-
damage, Venric.
There's going to be a lot of things that happen right now, so keep your numbers in mind. This all happens at once, by the way. This is not like you get hit and then another. It's all one big wave. We're just adding damage right now. Goran, you succeeded on that first one. You take the full 67 straight up because you were on the wall trying to negate the blast at the last second. As the second one, the second explosion radiates and expands out. This crackling energy that shoves out. You would all feel this intense wave of heat as the walls, the splinters, the boards get expanded out. Everybody who succeeded running past the walls, so pretty much everybody except Goran, you will take a quarter of that. So 37 divided.
Yeah, I'm down for
That's
sure.
18. So another 18 points if this is succeeded. And then another 37 if you failed.
First one was like it's double that if it failed. I didn't hear that. So the first one's 60.
If you failed on the first one, it would be 67.
I failed too.
No.
Or I'm down too.
Wait, so even though I
62.
succeeded, I take the full damage.
Because you were on the top of the wall trying to prevent the explosion. So you the walls act as like helping you avoid the damage, and also they buffer some of that damage as the explosion radiates out.
So if I would have failed my roll, I would have taken even more damage?
You would have taken
Yes.
125
Yeah,
points of
double.
damage
Total.
on the first one, and then the 75
Roger.
if
Yeah,
you failed on the second. You would have taken.
You got your half with
200
60 something.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
So let me
That
get this
is the-
straight.
Okay, go ahead.
First guy, 67 points.
Did you fail the first one or 60?
Yeah, I failed both.
You failed both? Okay, so then you total would have taken 62 plus 37.
98.
99
99
Yeah.
points of damage.
points of fire damage.
Okay.
Fire damage.
Which
And I
you're
believe
resistant
you're-
to.
You're immune to?
You're a tiefling, so you're resistant.
take half.
So you half,
half,
so that's
yeah.
49 points.
Colin, I
That
wouldn't.
is-
Clutch.
Go ahead,
Okay.
sorry.
That's not that bad for failing both.
Clutch
Okay, so does
resistance.
everybody have their numbers right now? Venric is down from that.
I was gonna ask. I wouldn't have time to have another reaction, would I? Between the second explosion. I
No,
didn't
this
think
is
What
all
about
second.
to counterspell this.
Why does this
Counterspell.
Minecraft music play? What's
Be
going
within
on?
30 feet.
Because we're all
It's kind
going
of
to heaven.
somber. It's a
Now
little
we're going to
somber.
heaven,
This
dude.
kind of
It's-
fits.
Yeah.
A little somber.
That
it
is
fits.
the force of the fire of the explosion. Now is the physical force that is going to propel you out.
Who's down? Is it just Venric at this point? Or
And
Tormund,
me.
did you say you were okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm
I'm
fucked.
Yeah, I was
I'm
saying.
just
I
gonna roll.
imagine 2 more you were close.
This will be the total for
Oh,
I need con saves from everybody, and regardless of where you, except for Redulus.
No con save for me.
Even if
No
we're
con
down,
save.
we can do the con save.
Oh, if you're down, no, you're good.
Okay. We failed.
yeah,
We're
easy.
chilling.
Don't bother.
We're chilling.
Nat 20.
Like I'm dreaming. So
Very nice.
You can ragdoll my down
Nat 20
body.
succeed.
Gordon, are you down?
oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Con save was 17.
So bad. So bad.
What'd you say? Did I succeed?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Well,
If you
14,
got
that
above a
seems fair.
15, you succeeded. If you failed, so it's either all or nothing. So if you succeeded, you don't take 38 points of force damage. If you failed, you take full 38 points of force damage. As your body is ricocheted, as the debris from the wall, the enforcements that were made get junted out, your body is thrown 15, 20, 30 feet tumbling and then cracked against the wall. I need to know right now. That is the full explosion as it expands out.
If you succeed, what is it? Sorry.
If you succeed, you take none of that 38.
Okay.
You're able to like kind of shoulder and brunt the force. Who all is up right now?
I'm up.
Gaius, Akuji, Redless. As the explosion emanates out, several things happen. Venric, you are tossed out to the side by the force of this, and your body is junted against this reinforced palisade of a wall. Your back. This is a little too not what I'm going for right now. Let's do this. As you are junted from the field by the explosion, you somersault across the ground, your shoulder crunching into the dirt, and you are stopped only by a palisade wall with pikes and sticks sticking out of it. Your whole body is impaled on top of it. Junted spikes and spears junt out of your shoulders, your chest, your leg, as you are impaled on this. Tormund, as the flames emanate across the battlefield, in one split-second maneuver, you toss your hand out, and the spirit shield of your forgotten, or not forgotten, but long-lost allies and friends goes to reach out in one grab to fix Venric before you see them junted across the ground, and then your vision goes dark as you remain unconscious from the brute force of the explosion. Gaius and Akuji, as you're running through, narrowly avoiding huge pillars of wood that are junted to the side, you see what was probably once a reinforcing gate bar made of like 3-inch thick steel gets shot across by your head and impales into a guardhouse, probably 3 or 4 feet deep, as you are tossed to the ground, barely conscious. Goran, as the waves overcome, the searing heat and force begins to push against you. I would like to know, what is Venric thinking as you begin to fade from this world?
So this is after I'm like impaled. This is when the thought. Okay. He kind of like looks up a little bit as much as his head will allow him, as like the circles start to close, and he sees like the destruction and like the scattered bodies and like the debris in the wall. And he just is like, was mad before running to the wall, and now he's just like, a tear kind of rolls down as all of that anger kind of subsides as the energy starts to crash because he couldn't do his job. And for another time, and possibly the last, he might lose it all.
Tormund, as the explosion radiates in your last moment of consciousness before the cold tendrils of death begin to creep over you, what are your final thoughts?
Tormund's mind would go back to everyone he's met throughout the years, all the people of the Severed, Benric and his family, his lost friends. And he would just hope and pray that there's still hope for the people of Protunheim if Benric lives.
Goran, as you're on top of this wall and you see the creature expand out, glow bright, and the waves of energy crash over, a familiar feeling as it crests over you and encapsulates the wall. And for a second, you feel as it slowly begins to boil away the skin and flesh and scales across your dragonborn hide. There is almost this comforting heat and cold and warmth that feels endearing for a split second. What are your final thoughts as death emanates out from the battlefield?
Goran's only thoughts would be just an intense focus on the explosion, on the spell that he's trying to cast, trying to muster all the power that he has, just thinking about his duty as a champion to protect people and as a cleric. And so there's not really much thoughts or visions or anything. It's just like that intense adrenaline-filled focus to try and prevent as much damage as possible.
As a high cleric of Vasselheim, your connection to the divinative magic, like a conduit conducting electricity, in the face of waves of death, there seems to be an equal force of life and energy that springs up within your chest. Like when you're about to breathe that golden flame out, it emanates out, and you feel on your hip a surging flow of energy that proceeds through your veins as you try to hold back the explosion. Go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check. Yeah, this will be a wisdom check.
15.
Okay. As that surge comes in two ways, you extend out, and a voice kind of rolls through your mind.
I know it's hard, but not everything can be protected. Perspective is needed to see the grander picture.
A rolling voice, one that could shake mountains, extends in your mind as your body is incinerated to bone, leaving only the soul. You begin to float up above, and you see the expanding cloud of white as it overtakes the soldiers, your friends, and
and the voice rolls over you once more. I am not disappointed in you firsthand, not even slightly. You've done all you could have in this. And you feel like you're in the fog clouds above, these rolling, puffy clouds, and something is rolling beneath them, enormous in its size, and the voice that just shakes the sky. As you are hovering there and the white ball slowly extends further, you see little blinks of light that seem to be brighter than the rest. Several of them running away from it towards the inner part of Capstone, and another one on the other side of the explosion. And the voice rolls over. Do you wish to save them? The guttural roar of the Father of Dragons resonates through your chest, if you can have that any longer.
Yes, of course.
Very well. What would you be willing to risk for it?
Another huge slithering fin of scales extends through the clouds.
What would I be willing to risk?
I offered you as much as a faithful disciple could. If you wish for this, I will grant it. But then you will no longer be graced in my holy domain. Lost, a soul to wander.
Well, I'm willing to sacrifice myself if it means I save the lives of the others. My afterlife is not as important as the lives of those who still remain.
The wave extends over, and you see two of the lights make it past the rushing white wall. And you feel like a little beating within their little twinkling silver and gold lights. The beat of a heartbeat. One crashes onto the ground and slowly begins to fade away. And as you say that, a huge talon comes forth and scrapes across, seemingly, and scoops up the light.
And it says, then breathe firsthand. Breathe life into this.
And the little blinking light is now 5 feet from you.
Sorry, what was that last part you said?
The voice emanates out to breathe life back into this soul.
Can I tell, is this my soul or is it one of the others?
As you look across it, you see this kind of dark tinted nature to this. This kind of repressed sadness and anger that seems to emanate from the soul. And it looks to be an emotional form of Tormund, the Liberator.
And yeah, Goran's going to take in a deep breath through his nostrils with them flaring really, really wide. and then let out a deep breath, and along with it, like a guttural growl with it, kind of like it's difficult to do.
And not a storm of flames, but just the smallest string extends out, wispy and thin, enters into this lightless form, and a little flame emanates slightly and burns a little bit brighter. And then the light begins to flicker once more and beat. The large hand releases back down, and the little, now beating heart extends back down to the world below. And you feel a cold release on yourself and a shattering sound, like a tiny little glass ornament. One last wish. This, and he wipes his hand across, and you see now the numerous soldiers, clerics, workers that were caught in it, their lights fading. Your decision, my precious champion. I can give you one final chance. Final chance to restore this world. Fix all that is being torn in sunder. Or I can use my grace to save the lives of these ones who remain. The soldiers who relied on their champions. I can guard them.
As he says that, like a smile, even though there's no physical body left. If you can imagine, there's a smile that comes across like Gorn's face. Well, that was my goal all along, wasn't it? Was to be a champion, to save those around me. That is my final wish. With you now as their champion, to help protect them from here on forward, in place of me.
Very well. And as he a large cascading wing the size of continents extends as the white bubble expands, and it is repressed back against the wave. And a deep guttural skies. And as the rumbling stops, you feel your essence, your form, slowly begin to dissipate from this world. In your one final stand, the first hand, recognized by a legion of ancient dragon, equal, and not only a champion for this war, but a champion before the platinum dragon Bahamut, who was recognized for superb skill in channeling divinity, who fought the 10-day war at Vasselheim, who rescued many, and in both final acts decided to give their life to rescue those who could not be protected by the god's light. Do you have any final words or thoughts you would like to say as Goran?
I believe I've done my duty, fulfilled my purpose in my prophecy. Perhaps I could have gone on to do more, to protect more. I wish I could have. But in this moment, This is what I was dealt. Go on by my example, and hope that we can save many more than we did today.
As the final words are uttered, the shimmering form of Goran, the first hand, flickers away, recognized only by a growl of a godly dragon howling over the battlefield of Fort Capstone, and in giving his life and his final chance to restore life, save the lives of hundreds. As the wave crashes out, the light from each of you, even if you haven't become conscious, the force of this blast knocks you out, merely. In game terms, you're not bleeding out, but you are unconscious from the full brunt of this. Redolus, as you are swirling through the sky, and this radial blast echoes out. Right before you hit the ground, there is a brief flash of brilliant violet and almost this almost effulgent light, like the shimmering of a pearl. And then your vision goes dark. As your body crashes into the ground. With the enormous explosion resonating and shattering the ground, we pan out from Fort Capstone, far into the sky, above the clouds of Foundation, and proceed further in, back to a familiar sight for a brief moment. Days later, within the bristling white walls of Protenheim, a blistering horn is heard out in the middle of the day. Guards line up across the walls, doing different drills, reinforcing various parts. The sky that pans, that oversees the horizon into the rolling farmlands that are protected still by the walls. A beautiful blue sky, and several figures standing atop the wall. One is a familiar, white-haired, younger, full elf gentleman, head visor Amir Porco, stands atop and next to a bolstering suit of armor with a equally large human within, flowing gold hair behind. As they stand over, Amir seems to be in the middle of preparing arcane runes across the wall, as he has been for several days since the champions left towards Capstone, reinforcing the walls by any means. He glances up to the hulking figure who stands there, whose face has become more serious, stricken, cut. Head visor looks up and says, "You're looking quite sad today, Primus. It's matter. We're almost done reinforcing the second set of walls. We have several days now till anything is supposed to happen. Granted, the forces from the Navy have dispersed at Vasselheim's request, but there's nothing to worry. Oh, Sorry, 1 second. One of the runes begins to fizzle and grow slightly, crackle with arcane electricity, and he whips his hand across, and a shimmering gold whip attaches to the rune, and he etches and fixes it, and condenses it back into the stone. Breathes a heavy sigh and says, well, there, that's done. We should do lunch, don't you think? The Primus slowly looks out over the horizon, and a deep sigh comes from his chest and says, I just hope they made it in time. That's all I hope for. Please. And his fist clenches tighter. We should prepare. There's a storm approaching. Come. No smile, no joke. He steps down the cascading walls of Protenheim. Head visor Amir Porco looks over and says, yes, skies do seem to be weighing a little heavy. Let's hope somebody can shoulder them long enough. Follows. And with that, we're going to take a 5-minute break right there.
Rest in peace.
Ooh.
Rip the homie.
Pick up
Ah,
several days
Boring.
after the wall is destroyed.
Ugh. Door in the first hand. Best to ever do it.
First hand.
Right.
First hand, only hand. In my
First
head.
and last.
that Everclear hit like a brick wall.
So wait, did he bring back Venric as well, or did he just bring me back and the soldiers?
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, remember, he's got 6 more lives, bro. What
Well,
are we
he's
like a
worried about
cat.
Vendrick for?
He's a cat.
But Bahamut didn't give him the chance to bring specifically Venric back, right?
No, he just said you, dog.
Okay.
Look go piss.
Just you.
I just
and
didn't
then-
know if Venric was
Colin.
included in it.
Look at
I was
him.
just
When you come back, you might want to tweak your Discord settings. I don't know if it's proximity to your mic, but every once when you get like real low, it cuts out for a couple seconds.
oh yeah, like the end of your sentence will cut out.
Yeah, that's why we
Really?
were. Yeah,
That's why Jordan was asking what you said.
No, that was
It's-
Gordon.
it sounds like super crisp, but then every once in a while it'll like drop off for like a second or two. I don't know if that's a Discord setting or a filter or something.
It probably is.
You could probably turn off noise suppression or something.
I'll be right back.
I don't have that.
Hi,
on.
Colt.
Oh, you don't have it on?
No.
I'm pissed.
Dude, what a way to go, Gorn.
You're just our main voice, Colin. So we gotta make sure you're crisp.
Yeah, I get it. I'll try not to do that because I don't know what the fuck to do.
Okay, no
Discord's
worries.
fucking weird.
Just yell into it.
Yeah, no worries. Just
If
want to
the
let you know.
mic's fucked, then I don't. Yeah, I'll just be here the whole time.
Okay.
Well, probably
And
if it's
it'll
just. I don't know if it's. You have to be closer to the mic.
I couldn't, dude. I
Yeah,
couldn't.
there's no-
My lips are fucking.
I feel like he was
Okay.
he was pretty close and it's still
Gotcha.
cut. I think it's a. That's why I thought it was a filter, a voice.
It has
filter.
to be a gain
Mm.
issue with Discord because it automatically detects it, but I'd have
Yeah.
to fuck with it. All right.
No worries.
Thanks for
No
letting
worries.
me know.
Yeah.
Jordan,
Snack time.
damn.
Don't leave us, Jordan.
I know.
Not for real.
I gotta go get a snack.
Not for real, bro.
He's like, I'm
I'll
leaving.
never
See ya.
let you
Be
go.
alive.
Guys, he's not gonna
Hey,
come
guys.
back. He's lying to us.
He's. I'm sorry. This dude dead.
Please
I
the
saw his-
Discord.
I saw his ghost go up. He's
That
dead.
felt like you died. That felt like he really died.
Yeah, bro. That was crazy.
It felt like
Be back.
Benric died.
Bro, I can't.
Well,
I
we just
literally
don't know
can't.
about Venric yet. We don't
I
know about.
literally can't. Don't say that.
I've been trying to on purpose,
I think-
and it won't happen.
That's why I run
Math-
into the heat of battle. I want
yeah,
to
but
die.
I want to make a new character so bad.
I'm
You know,
bored.
Venric,
I'm bored of
Venric is
Venric.
played out, bro. Like I'm done
I
with
was
it.
I lied, bro. I actually succeeded both of those, but I lied just to die.
I said I
still
failed
fucking
because I
lived.
wanted
I'm
to take the damage.
self-destructed. I'm gonna be honest. I passed with flying colors. 19, 20,
Yeah, bro.
18.
Yo.
I'm gonna
I
go.
still
I'm gonna
had-
go chew out Colin. I'll
uh,
be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
I
bro,
can't
had
believe
220 hit points left, but I just said I went down just to see if I could. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If I didn't succeed the last one, I would have died.
You know how much damage I took that whole fight?
None.
Not a single point.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's because you're a slippery dude.
You're slippery.
Bro, hey,
The
bro,
explosion didn't hurt me. The
Brother,
shockwave
high
didn't
five
hurt
for
me. The
evasion.
psychic
High-
didn't hurt me.
high five for evasion, my guy.
Hey,
Man.
Yeah.
You're crazy, bro.
lucky I chose Tiefling.
I'm not gonna lie,
True
though.
though, honestly.
Yeah, dude, lucky you chose Tiefling.
Yeah, yeah.
Only way that wizard lives to that is you're a tiefling.
That's crazy.
Thank God.
Dude, oh my god. If I would have taken any of that damage, I'm dead.
Mm.
100%.
Yeah, you're not even close to us, dog.
I'm not even close to you, but if I took any of that damage, I am dead. That first shockwave would have knocked me out completely.
Man.
I'll be honest, I thought you guys were gonna take more damage.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be more, so
Truthfully.
it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
a shame that 3 of you had to die. Well,
Yeah,
not
it's-
2.
Yeah, just 2.
Maybe just 1. Probably just 1.
At
Yeah, I
least
think
it's
it's
confirmed to one.
Yeah.
Confirmed to one.
Confirm. Well, for sure 1 now, and I think we'll
Fuck,
end it
man.
there.
Was that little like end piece where he was talking to the Primus? That was like back at
That was in
Prolenheim, right?
Protenheim 2
Back at
days
Protenheim.
later.
2 days after this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after the
Two-
explosion?
2 days after homies are dead and Fort is destroyed, that was there.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
he's probably gonna fast forward us into a new, you know what I'm
Dude.
saying?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna take this opportunity to pee as well. I'll be right back.
Yeah, same. Be right back.
I mean, we're holding on.
I told you Goran was gonna die. I knew it. I called the 3.
You can
I
feel
mean,
it. You
the
felt
3
that.
that I thought were gonna die died,
I'm barely fucking.
and you're only alive because you're a tiefling.
Yeah, you literally, bro. Barely.
Hi.
Just so you guys
Fuck
know,
are
he
you
was
guys?
laughing. He was laughing at Gorn's death.
That's okay. I
was
got a
not.
confession for both of you.
Sure, you
I
fucking were.
haven't been able to stop playing, thinking about that league game for the moment it stopped.
The one where you
the one we
played
lost.
Misfortune.
Yeah, and it's been on like replay.
It was fun, huh?
Dropped 35 kills.
Yeah.
Just yeah, it's the end though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I saw that bitch. Like, only frame I could have seen her, I saw her, and we weren't quick enough.
Dude, I was Vex, and Vex is all you can throw, and jump on them. I threw that bitch straight at her, and I think she like teleported out of it. Otherwise, it would have
Shame.
hit her.
Literally, like, so smart, hid in a bush, waited for us to run by. And then we can't we can't TP back.
What a disappointing end to a game,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, dude. If
How
I
you
would
doing,
have,
Isaac?
if I would have hit her with my ult, I
Huh?
would have killed her.
That's a shame. That was peak. That was a peak
Huh?
game for me. So
Bro, I only put 2 shots in here. That first one, fucking. It was
I saw you were.
like lava. Genuinely, it
You
made.
really did?
got-
I didn't think you were serious.
I thought you were fucking around.
Me too.
well, I was looking for like a shot like normal tequila because we usually have some,
Mm.
right? And then I was like, damn, what the fuck is this? Look in the back, pull this thing out, Everclear.
Oh
Fuck.
no, Isaac. Oh
I was
no.
like, but I only did like maybe a shot and a half in here in the bottle. Dude, it fucking Christ. The first 10 to 15 minutes, I was in flow.
He was speeding.
I
Spinning.
was in flow. Everything was vibrating.
Isaac was like listening to Gordon's death. He's like,
No, no, Salem.
"You can't do this."
Oh shit.
No, my time. I'm gonna get up.
This is crazy.
That's funny.
But
That looks
I
good,
do have-
bro.
I'll
Little
base you
liquids.
kill Goran like that
You're gonna be so mad at me here in like 5 minutes.
by the end of this.
No. here in 5 minutes.
Just in 5 minutes.
I like to think that Gaius just found a place where he just back against the wall and everything was just going by him. You know what I mean? And he just found like
Bodies
the
and
like
fucking legs.
he just so happened to find like that one spot, like it's like tornado aftermath pictures. There's always just that one random thing that's just standing up.
Yeah, that just
By the
survived.
grace,
Was
I'm
that
just,
place
I'm
was
just
touched
placed
by
up
God.
behind that shit.
Yeah.
And that one thing was like the body of 2 of his archers.
Yeah, I'm just holding them both up.
Little kid.
Yeah.
He's sizzling out of
Yeah.
existence.
Oh, I need another one.
Oh!
He's just outside the orphanage grabbing him.
God, this is like,
They're like
hide.
completely safe, and I'm just pulling them out.
He's like, why is there an orphanage this close to the front lines?
This is not my fault.
Come here, kid.
Poor placement, but
Yeah.
Form a line.
all right, everyone, close your eyes and dunk your heads.
Joking.
God, hide. He hides.
Phalanx formation.
Yeah.
stone
That's
wall.
Look up.
Oh man.
Richard, what you eating?
When'd you get that, Richard?
Where'd you get that, bro?
When
Huh?
did you get it?
What do you mean? I
Is
don't know
that
sign
maybe-
language,
Is
bro.
that maybe a reason for something happening earlier?
I can't think of anything.
What do you think I'm talking about? You seem to know what I'm talking
I
about.
never know what the fuck you're talking about, Cole. You just be babbling and babbling.
I hate
Yeah.
these motherfuckers.
Yap,
so
yap,
much,
yap.
it's crazy.
I just tune you out most of the time.
That hurts, dude. That hurts.
The roles are reversed finally.
That shit hurts. I'm sorry. I'll never do that
Hey,
again.
yo,
Is that what you've been feeling this whole time?
Yeah, Richard, my bad, dude. That shit does not feel good.
hey, hold on.
That shit sucks.
It hurts to not be heard.
Now you'll mute me for a couple hours? That's what that feels like.
Please don't.
hey, shoot.
Was what?
Was it snowing over there in Denver?
Nah.
What the
Apparently
fuck?
it's might like rain or snow tonight.
Shoot,
But-
go
Bro.
outside and look up. You're in the end zone.
You're in the end.
Look up.
Look
Bro,
up,
we're expected to have snow tomorrow. What the fuck?
Really?
Yeah, apparently like let me see. It says that we're getting like rain and like a tiny bit of snow tonight.
Fuck this place. Thunderstorm
We just-
watch has been issued. Oh, cool.
We got a crazy storm like last week, but
One of the guys from the other Discord said they had a tornado watch in Liberal and Holcomb. Like, what the fuck? Oh,
Calm
tornadoes
down.
already?
A little early.
A little early
Isaac,
for
are you
that.
saying it's supposed to storm here?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Have
say
you
that
not?
for me.
really?
Have you not gone outside? It's windy as shit and cloudy as fuck.
I know.
Have you
I-
not got outside?
I
Hey!
went outside. I went outside before D&D.
To
To
do
get
what?
tacos, huh?
To
To
do
get
what?
tacos,
Just get
huh?
some
To
fresh
do
air.
what?
It's a taco
Smells
truck,
good.
wasn't it?
Fresh air.
Fresh air.
You were late to get fresh air.
Come on to you,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Hey, hey, some of us need sun to function, okay? And I need my 10 minutes.
That's
Not
true. You like
tacos,
never see
though,
the
huh?
sun, huh?
Was that a
There ain't
dig,
no
Jordan?
fucking
Is
sun.
that a good-
No, I'm
fucking
just,
dig?
that's just a realization because you work nights, and so.
Don't be throwing shots here. I didn't just loot. Nah.
All right, let's play a quick game of charades. Colin, go ahead.
Yeah. Too soon. That's too soon.
Yeah, it does not.
All right,
say
one
it's supposed to
word.
rain.
One
Finger.
syllable. Football.
Football.
Got it.
It's all right.
Nice.
You gotta change. You can't use the same one every time.
That's all I know.
Nobody told him rules.
Okay. Everybody back? Everybody ready?
Yep.
As we pick up our story 2 days after this event at the walls, Jordan, if you would kindly leave the Discord.
If you
See you
could
guys.
go to bed. Bye, Jordan.
Bye, Jordan.
That's rude of you to do that.
That is
Okay.
fucked up, Colin.
It's real fucked up.
You can't
What?
even listen,
This-
bro.
This looks
You should
so
feel
wrong.
bad.
Seeing 6 faces, it feels
That's
so
wrong,
wrong.
bro.
What the heck, bro? I got cold on top of me now. What's going on here?
That's where I belong.
Me mother.
All things are good. Sorry.
Gaidus and Akuji, the first day after the explosion, you remember waking up covered in bandages and being tended to by various people covered in dirty, tattered cloths, but stitching, sharp pains within your sternum, your chest, your arm. You are woken back up as the light slowly comes to your eyes. And you weren't hurt too bad, but you were unconscious. You begin to ask around, find each other throughout the day. It was about 12 hours of unconsciousness. And there was a lot of potential casualties along the wall. As you gather your senses, you learn that Venric, Tormund have not woken up. They aren't dead. They're breathing. But they've still remained unconscious for some time. Wounds have been tended to. The wall was decimated. A large crater left. And what soldiers were left on the inner linings of the city began to build barricades along, expecting another onslaught to come. Casualty reports. Apart from those that were taken out by the spell from Savias, there were only 3 casualties from the wall, mysteriously. All others had serious, grievous wounds, but awoke and are being tended to currently in an overcrowded medic tent. Redulus has been unaccounted for the last 24 hours. No sign, no body, nothing. The undead army has almost seemingly overnight vanished. Whether taken out from the explosion or being recalled back, there have been no enemies that have pushed forward towards the wall. A series of lower ranked individuals have been taking control of the forces, but quickly you're called upon to organize civilian water lines, medic tents, supplies, organizing defensive regimes. And it almost overwhelms you in that time. You have almost no space to breathe, even through your injuries. And that day goes by in a blink of an eye. In the middle of the night, Venric, your eyes open, and you feel breath come through your chest. Brittle, cold air. Your back is sore, your shoulders are locked up, your head is resonating, almost ringing with this bell-like sound in the back of it. But you will yourself up out of the bed and cot, and you see no armor around you, but a series of scars and bandages wrapped around every inch of your body as they could be. And then as you stand up, you feel light. You feel loose. And the ringing slowly starts to fade, and you feel fairly normal. Can you roll me a perception check?
The first 2 thoughts that pop into my head are the first one being, I can't believe my final thoughts weren't about my family. And then the second thought is grim humor as I just chuckle to myself and say, the god of death is not going to like this. And for that perception check, we're looking at a 29.
As you're standing up and like a nurse comes over and starts to tend to your wound. Sir, are you all right? Do you need anything? You shouldn't be standing up. You swear as he's like running towards you. The flickering light from a candle. It is the middle of the night after all. You swear in his shadow as he moves towards you, you see like this face come out of his shadow and then disappear back beneath. And you feel like these little wispy tendrils of this dark, shadowy energy fade away. And he comes over to you and says, please, you shouldn't be out of bed. Please, sit down.
Similar to the forest.
Eerily similar.
I'm going to kind of brush him aside and say, I feel better than I should.
He is on you for the next 30 minutes. And as you begin to rip off your bandages, as you feel perfectly fine, the wounds beneath, there are deep and gutted scars, and you see as you begin to take off the final section on the bottom, he's like, no, wait. And you see enormous, almost like star-shaped scar through probably 4 inches from the center of your stomach, a hole about 5 inches wide that has now been sealed shut with perfectly like pink scar tissue. A completely fatal wound. And he says, what in the 9 hells? Please, I'll go get the other champions. Just stay here. And he runs out the room before anything can happen. In the middle of the night, Gaius and Akuji, as you are finishing up, eating whatever you can, and figuring out what to do, you also have gotten the final body reports and recognize Redulus is unaccounted for, Lance is gone, and there is no sign of the head high cleric, Goran. A nurse runs into the middle of the building and exclaims that the general has awoken and rallies you to gather. You all find yourselves in the center of, the 3 of you find yourselves in the center of Fort Capstone, in the large pitch tent that was once Captain Lance's HQ for defending the city and has now been overtaken with Gaius and Akuji's work on maintaining order in the past 24 hours. Now that this is your kind of area, Gaius and Akuji, can you describe to me, you can loosely describe it, what you two have really been focused on in the last 24 hours? You haven't had time to like go out on your own necessarily, but like, what have you done to change the tent? Has there been anything that you've been trying to do on the side the last 20?
I think if we were in Lance's office and stuff, I probably would have went through all of his personal belongings. So, I mean, everything would have been moved and like probably moved to one side of the room because I know I cleared that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, probably just that.
What is Gaius's side and what does Akuji's side look like now? Have you made any differences in this large room?
Probably not me.
I would have found the cage from before that my buddy was in, and just like set it up as a motivation almost.
Little table on the side, yeah.
And then if I was able to, I would like try to make it feel kind of homey with I don't know, turning everything to my black and red theme colors if I could.
Yeah. Simple prestidigitations every time a chair or a little scrap of whatever could be deemed as fabric. It's almost like half the room is red and black and just is transformed. Venric, as you are putting on your your shirt and are entered, very civilian type clothing, and are brought through the streets. You see there are guards lined up around the center of town, torches and towers that have been erected and quickly done to gaze out over the remaining sectors of Capstone. And you enter into the tent as one of the soldier or one of the assistants to Gaius and Akuji in these last few hours hands you over some water and says, "General," and does a salute and says, "Glad to see you back on your feet." He looks to Gaius and Akuji and says, "Champions, I'll go get the soldier reports for the next day and the supply reports, and I'll have that to you by the end of the night." And he does like a bow, runs out the tarped tent. Venric, or Gaius and Akuji, can you describe to me what you guys look like in this aftermath? A day, full 24 hours after the battle at the. Kind of like a little bit.
I mean, I think he is as straight edge as it gets, I mean, he doesn't have the disguise armor on anymore. He went back and retrieved his normal deep black armor. He just looks the same as he always does. Armor on, trying to figure something out.
Do I have any idea that Goran's gone? I guess from the casualty report.
Few hours ago, there's no sign of his death. There's they haven't been able to push out far enough to where the original wall is. They just report that they haven't found him yet.
So I just know Redolus and Goran are not there.
Missing. They are MIA.
I would feel pretty on edge for sure. We gotta fucking go. I'm kind of tweaking. I'm a bit disoriented, maybe.
The lackadaisical and almost, you could say, verbose and cocky nature of the head visor, Venric, as you walk in, is immediately noted as there's a more serious and frantic nature to the room and the gestures he makes. And for the first time in over 24 hours, you all see each other once again.
I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna lead with good to see you, champions. I'm glad that a few of us survived and have seemed to taken control of the situation, and then noticing the emotions. I'm gonna say feels kind of weird to be challenged as a champion, huh?
Can I see? Is yours shirt still off where I could see that big wound?
I have clothes on.
Okay.
It's naked.
Just say, Venric, it's good to see you up and running. Have you seen Goran or Redolus?
I just woke up myself. I was hoping that you could fill me in, actually.
I can't say I'm surprised to see the freak still walks. Not many people fall from the sky and live, or go through explosions and live.
And I'm not surprised to see that the slippery one has evaded danger as well.
All about knowing where to be.
And
But,
my place is not dead.
And I still don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well,
About Goran, though, I don't see a world where he's alive. And I don't know about Redolus. He seemed to have disappeared in the middle of that fight. But I saw where Goran stood at the end of that, and who knows? you're here. Still.
Colin, I'm assuming that the wing that brushed over the rest of the field from Gorn's breath is what brought me back.
You don't remember anything. You just remember getting impaled, the searing pain of getting impaled on a spear wall, and then darkness rang over you.
And even with that perception check when I woke up, I wouldn't know or have any feeling as to, like...
If you want to make a medicine check.
Okay, I'll give it a shot here.
Also about that, since we've been awake for a little bit, and we know how many people died, does it seem like there should have been way more people that died from that? I mean, the explosion radius, there should have been way more dead people, right?
There were at least 200 souls near the wall, like near your area, and definitely probably 300 within the explosion radius. And there are only injuries. There were no casualties.
I got a dirty 20 on that.
You, for
18
a minute,
on the die.
try to draw in breath. You feel your muscles and diaphragm contort, contract, expand out breath, and then you kind of take a minute and put your finger on your wrist, and you feel a very faint a pulse. Very slow, but still a pulse.
My own?
Yep.
To guide us, I'm going to say, I do not know what happened to Gorn, and you are correct, he was the closest. I would like to make a guess that maybe the reason I'm still standing, despite my cockiness, could be from him, but we won't really know until we flesh out the details. As for the soldiers, I'm glad to hear, but I do not have an answer for you.
Well, I think that's very optimistic, but I don't think Gorn saved your life. I think this has something to do with the same reason that you're alive from your fall. And I also am worried about our total number of people that have died have only been 3. There should be a lot more dead people than 3.
And I agree with that statement. And if what you say is true, then the soldiers being alive is disconnected then from why I'm alive. But I think we have more pressing matters than what keeps bringing me back. Do you know if the Force still resides outside of these walls?
Would I have been able to go look around and stuff over this last day, or no?
Yeah. Well, probably not in person, but you probably would have sent out survey reports. I feel like you two would have had to remain at the center. With the outer western walls gone, the last line of defense on the west side of the city, the walls that are half the size on the central square, and you've had to quarter off. So I imagine you guys remain pretty center, but from the reports you've had, there's been no enemy movement forward, and there's been no sign of any undead or demonic creatures prowling through the city streets. That's why you guys were able to erect walls and defenses so quickly hours after, was because there was no entities within the area.
And do we have any idea, was anybody conscious for what happened after the explosion? Does nobody remember anything?
As you're trying to gather between you and Akuji, there are multitudes of we just saw a huge red explosion, the ground shook, and we saw soldiers carrying people who their legs were blown off, limbs blown off, and they were getting dragged back, and just through simple bandages and stuff, they were pretty much able to gather all of them and drag them into the square. The same reports, though, nothing out of the ordinary other than the explosion that destroyed the.
we didn't see nothing about them retreating or falling back or what happened to the towers, the dragons, nothing like that.
No. Most of the people that would have been close enough, there was enough smoke and debris and the fog from that morning that it was pretty, like, there was no visibility. And so there were maybe like 50 soldiers that stood outside for a full day and watched and saw no movement at all from the enemy side.
Okay. So to Vendrick, I would just tell you, it's been quiet since that happened. It's been 24 hours, by the way, since that. And nothing been seen moving or going anywhere. Quiet.
Thank you for the update. I have to inform you, at the end of the battle, before the explosion, my stance drastically changed. And especially now, seeing that we have missing and/or dead champions, I believe that this fort is a lost cause. If this force was to amass again, with the numbers even half of what we faced before, and even one of whatever those awful things were, we're going to suffer another drastic defeat. I don't want to scare these soldiers. It's my duty to protect and defend them, but after what we just went through, I do not believe that we could survive another assault. Protenheim is the true goal.
I somewhat agree, but just a reminder, the thing that we I say learned, we don't know anything about it, is that the solstice is tomorrow, right? Kuji. And that is what we think is going to be the big day, but we don't know what that means. We don't know if we should be here for it or away from it. Or if that's what's holding them back, or after that, that's when they can come in. I just don't know.
And I don't know what to think about that either. I did not descend into the earth as some of you did. So I don't completely understand that, but I do know I'm charged with the protection of these people, and with the numbers that survived today could only be described as a miracle. That's not something that happens twice.
So tomorrow is the day we're supposed to be back in Protenheim? Or is that in multiple days? Tomorrow's the solstice then.
I think we just know that, yeah, tomorrow something is going to happen, and we think that's what we need to hold out for, but we don't know anything really beyond that.
It is funny, Gaius, in a grim way. I believe we were both on opposite sides of defending this fort just a few days ago, and it seems like we have both switched sides.
I by no means want to stay here. We just haven't found the reason yet.
I understand, and I don't trust you entirely as a person, but I absolutely trust your judgment. And even though I make fun of you still being alive, it's because you're resourceful, and I trust that as well.
The tent flaps flutter open and in rush two soldiers, one female half-orc, another female kind of furbolg, kind of cow-like features, big nose, wide chin. They say, "Champions, we're ready to take over. You can rest for the night. We'll supersede. General!" And they take an even more salute. Sorry, we didn't know you were up, so you can take command if you would like. We're to fill in for the two champions. You should all really rest. We'll take over for the time being. They look rookie, like green as hell. They're shook, and there's no leadership present. Immediately, you get that, Venric, that these two are the only two people who've been holding down the 1,500 people in the city the last day.
Before I answer, Colin, and as far as D&D goes, where am I at health wise? Like, what? I have no idea. I know I feel good as a character, but
I'll say whatever your health is, just half it. You're at
Okay.
half. Technically speaking as well, Akuji and Gaius, you have not been able to get in a full rest. You've had several short rests, but don't worry about that, like for the sheets and stuff. It's just been like an hour nap, and you alternate on and off, and there's an exhausted nature in the tent.
I'll definitely say to the soldiers, thank you for the offer, but I believe I can remain in charge. And then I'll turn to the other two and say, but it looks like both of you could benefit from a long rest. If you need to sleep, now would be the time. And do not think that anything is going to happen with me in charge.
This isn't really my thing anyway. So
The two champions head back to the original lodge, and Venric takes over command.
Did you say that we, like me or Kuji or even like our scouts or anything, even haven't gone to the battlefield yet?
The crater is wide enough within the ground that they would literally be descending into like a no man's land, and the soldiers, before you guys all took command, didn't feel like it was their place to be like, we should send a survey party out to see what happened. You two are probably the only ones who have like any authority, who were like conscious at the time. Lance was holding shit together by spider silk threads, and with him gone, everything just started to crumble, and you guys had to like grab and pull together as many pieces as you could just to keep the city from falling in on itself.
I don't think I think Goddess would have to know what that place looks like.
Okay.
And he would go look. If he finally had the moment where he can trust whatever's going on, he would want to go look.
You go out in the night, separate outside the city walls, through the debris, and you see shrapnel, trees turned uprooted with enormous interlocking roots extending towards the sky. These huge trees that have probably been here decades and decades, uprooted by the force of the explosion. You see haphazard barriers put up with walls and torches lit up, archers that remain near the side that recognize you. But as you extend farther out the walls, you see the remnant of the western gate. If you could even call it a gate anymore, a wide, cavernous, maybe 400 to 500 foot diameter crater that goes deep down, probably like 5 to 10 feet. Shards of the huge timber, stones uprooted, and just like faint flickerings of remnants of fires barely being put out throughout the night. Make me an investigation check.
Um, 25.
You find the area, and like a memory wave comes through as you slide down the concave sides of the bowl of the crater. And you look out, and it's a little lower, but you're like, this is where it was. You see places where there were bodies that were picked up and dragged through the dirt, like little skid marks through the sand and coarse ground. And you find something very concerning. You find a footprint in the remnants of the crater with pointed appendages that would resemble toes. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. Not humanoid, but of almost like a reptilian nature. And you only see one footprint, and it extends in a walking path westward.
Is that away from the wall? Or the fort?
It's further towards the towering demon monoliths.
And that definitely looks like it came after the fact, right? Someone
Correct.
came into
And
here.
you got a
and left.
24 or 25?
25.
The last 2 things that concern you the most is there are 2 more tracks that follow that one like kind of reptilian footprint, and there are tiny little circular pegs almost that seem to skid, and you recognize this seems to be the walking footprint path of Goran and his one-legged nature, walking towards where the enemies assaulted the wall from. And in that moment, you realize that in the heat of battle you probably didn't recognize, with Savias gone, Lance still got up after he died and was undead. And you fear in that second that the same thing happened to Goran. And that leads you to believe that whatever was controlling these undead, or maybe not controlling, whatever was controlling them was Savias, but whatever was creating them is still going. A loud scream echoes through the night. Tormund, you are woken up inside the medical tent as a woman is hovering over you, and you see in her hand a large, jagged, like cutting saw, and lunges at you for a 14 to hit.
That misses.
You catch the knife and you feel the skin slough off the wrist of what looks to be a haggard, what was once like a dwarven individual who's his body and flesh are seeping off these large pustules as he's trying to cut at you with this serrated cutting saw. You can react if you would like in the split second as you arise from unconsciousness.
Am I laying down?
Yeah, you're on a cot in this medical tent. You look around, white sheets above you, a couple beds, there's a couple carts, and more people around you, but this figure's attacking you.
I don't see my glaive.
And a hazard, no glaive in sight.
Okay. I'd say if I could grab the arm before it hit me, I'd try to force the blade into the neck of the creature.
Okay, make me a strength check. I'll make a contested one.
Okay.
That's a 3.
That's a 16.
16. You take it and put it back and up through the neck. And you see no blood comes up, but this like kind of dark Icarus flood, kind of fleshy substance spurts out, gets coated across your face and your eyes, and you're like running down your hand. The figure continues thrashing, even though they have a bone saw shoved in their mouth and extending out of their neck. They're gonna try to struggle to like beat down on you for an 8 to hit. They bring down a fist. You catch that one too. Your turn.
I'm just gonna keep going to try and like cleave the head off.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Don't add anything, just straight roll.
You can add your strength. Yeah, we'll do a
18.
strength check for this. Okay, you take the hilt of the blade, which is like underneath the chin, and you just run it through, trying to separate as much of the tissue. And as you do, the figure finally crumples to the ground. One wrist puts itself up and tries to like bring itself back up, and then falls down to the ground again. There are women and soldiers like screaming in the tent, like, "Somebody help! Get the copter! Get somebody!" As you are like groggily, you are at 1 hit point. As you groggily are like getting up
I'll say
off the cot.
that as Tormund gets up, because he's so startled by that, and he just came out of battle, he's just going to keep fucking hitting that thing while it's on the ground.
You have this huge like meat cleaver bone saw and are just cutting in, and that black ichor sprays across your face even further. In the dead of night, hours after Gaius has seen the wall and Akuji have went to bed, Venric, you are alerted that there was a disturbance in the medical tent on the other side of the wall. You arrive there and just see the hulking form covered in this nasty, almost like octopus ink, sticky material in the medical tent. Tormund, what do you look, apart from the mess, how do you look in this moment?
I'd say exhausted. I'd say Tormund, even just whacking at that dead corpse was so exhausting for him that he's finding it hard to catch his breath and just kind of laying like on all fours on the ground.
I'm gonna well, firstly, like as people are running around, is there any guards or is it all medical personnel?
All medical personnel. There's a couple guards on the outside who like, General, and they open the tent flap for you.
As before I even walk in, I'm like, yo, you guys got to pay attention. How did you let this happen? Did you see anybody enter?
Oh no, sir. Nobody entered the tent. It was one of the injured. They got up and they started to attack the champion. It was in a flash. There was nothing we could have done.
Keep watch then. If there's nothing you could have done, and I'll walk in.
Yes, sir.
And I'll go up to Tormund too, and I'll just like try to pick him up onto the bed, and I'm gonna give him a smile and say, "Good to see you alive, brother. We should not be here, and yet we are."
I see you survived.
I'm more surprised to see you survived. I don't think either of us should be alive right now. Do you have any perspective on what gave you life?
Colin, would I? Just
No,
black
you
and then I
remember
woke
going
up?
unconscious.
Yeah, no, I just remember everything becoming dark, and now I'm here.
Mysteries on mysteries. It seems as I woke up and I'm in a different state than you are. So, kind of muttered to myself, maybe Gaius was right. But nonetheless, you're here now. I'm glad to see you. There's trouble ahead, and if things are attacking in the night, then even inside the walls, we are still unsafe.
Where are the others?
If by the others you mean Gaius and Akuji, they should be resting. As for Gorn and Redulus, we have no sign.
Would I be able to recall the last time I saw Gorn?
You remember running, and as the wave hit, you remember him holding out his in a apostolic manner. And then you just remember the light flashing, blinding you, and then darkness, and then you woke up to a scream and being attacked by this now hacked to pieces Dwarven male.
I think Gorn played a part in why we survived. I remember seeing him doing something as we all fled past the wall.
I agree. I think he had something to do with it, but again, as to why we survived, I'm unsure.
Colin, am I able to like walk and stuff? Like get around?
Yeah, you can walk. You're at 1 HP, but you can walk.
Okay.
It's very haggard and exhausting. Exhaustive.
I don't know how much help I can be in this state, but I don't know. Are you able to handle things?
Don't worry. For some reason, I feel pretty incredible based on what happened. I think you should rest as well. Hopefully, Gaddis and Akuji are resting. A champion at his lowest is not much help. We need everything we have, so full strength is what we require. I want to say I'm going to increase the guard, but unfortunately, the hands that we have to work with right now are tired themselves and few and far between, but we also need to figure out why things are still attacking us inside the fort. I will see if I can increase the watch.
Yeah, I'd appreciate maybe a guard to watch me as I rest. But
I will personally see to it.
just call me if you need help or something happens.
Of course.
And then Tormund's gonna lay down and go back to bed.
And I'm going to walk out and with the one soldier I was talking to, and I'm going to say, I need you at his bedside. Nothing gets close to him. Your life on the line. Do you understand?
Of course. Of course. Our lives. My life. Sir.
We'll do one more thing. I'll tell one of the people working inside that tent. I'll say, I need you to find my glaive and bring it to me.
I don't know what that is. Is that like it's some like younger
I'm gonna show him the bone saw, and it's like this but longer, and like give like a pretty shitty description of what
Oh,
it is.
like a stick.
It's like a long fork, but except instead of multiple prongs, it's just one.
Okay, I'll do that. After my break though. And she just sits there and like starts drawing.
I'll tell Venric, are you still?
I'm gone. I'm already gone.
He's gone.
I'll tell that soldier then. The soldier he told to watch over me. I'll tell him.
I'm to remain here and protect you with my life.
I won't sleep until you find my glaive. So don't worry. I have the bone saw. I can handle anything.
He ain't
Miss.
leaving, bro.
Can you look for a glaive, please?
Yes, I tell them after my break, and that extends
After
for
my break.
an annoying amount of time until eventually your equipment is gathered. You fall asleep.
Holding
All 4 of you can gain the benefits of a long rest. As the second day begins to arrive, we go back to mere minutes after the explosion at the Redolus. As you are plummeting down to the ground, there is a flash of brilliant violet, pearlescent light, and then your body crashes onto the ground. You would have taken 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you the air is knocked from your lungs. You hear a cascading crashing noise as the cage crashes in and Baragra lets out a of pain. You look in your haggard state and you see shapes and movements and these swirling colors of blinding flashing light, dust getting kicked up, and you see the writhing on the ground. Baragra is like serpentine wriggling in pain. You look up at the top of that pillar, you see blazing these red ember like eyes just extend out from the head, and a brilliant flaming grin spreading across the face of the icon of ash.
when I look over to Baragra, she's just chained up right now, or some of the chains kind of broken.
She's
out?
like just like moving. Her tail's flicking. Her wings are beating. Her arms are thrashing on the dirt.
Mhm.
In this split second, you have no idea if her cage is broken and she's trying to untangle herself, or she's broken, you know, an arm, a wing,
Ligaments.
a leg. Yeah.
I guess right after I try to crawl to her, not knowing if I can even stand. As like those are my last ditch efforts to maybe get a word out.
You see, as you're like crawling on the ground, as the ash is going through, the pain surging through your body is immense. Put a hand forward, crawl forward, and onto your right, a chasmic, a large thudding, almost like a secondary explosion. Maybe 5 feet to the right of your arm, and extending out of it, a large, almost like tree trunk like spear of this fiery ash extending out of the ground. And you hear, "That's one!" You extend forward 4 feet from the edge of Baragra. Another spear on the left impacts the ground. Ah, almost had you. Just dialing it in. You get 2 feet, 1 foot, and you see the head, the muzzle that was once on her, shattered, broken to the ground. Her mouth is thrashing. Lightning is spreading out. The cage is broken, but she's still tangled in the chains, and her wing is kind of caught underneath one of the wooden boards. What do you do?
I guess seeing it, well, knowing he's dialing down on me, focusing on me. My last actions would be to try to free her completely and have her to run towards the shore, where I know there is a ship there.
Okay. Are you using anything special to free her, or are you just trying to break it off with your bare hands and free?
I can call my scimitar. Granted, I don't know if they're on my person or not. But I'll go ahead and use the scimitar to free her from, the chains and the board.
Okay. Roll me an attack roll with the scimitars.
Okay. Okay, so just one attack roll?
Yeah, just one attack.
Okay. That's gonna be 25.
You bring it up, and a whirlwind ignites around you. A tempest of energy begins to swell. You feel your veins tightening. Almost this electric energy begins to surge through your veins and extend out. The once illustrious cloak and a half vest that our fleet admiral once wore, now burnt at the shoulders, exposing these glowing white crystals, streak out with energy. And one final loud, resonant cry, you slash down and shatter the chains that are untangling them, and the chains begin to unravel around. At the exact same moment, a enormous chunk of hardened ash gouges itself straight through the right side of your body, almost dislocating your entire shoulder as you are impaled into the ground. And you hear a loud, resonant, "There we go! Gotcha, finally!" And then a sound of wrath jumping from the pedestal. And in one final moment, what do you say to
I say to her, to the coast and find him. And that's the last thing I say.
There's a beat in your mind as you wave come forth. No, I won't leave! And a flash of lightning comes forth. And your control oppresses her need to stay and defend. And as a loud, thunderous lands next to you, and the crunching of footsteps from a being enormous inside, you press this image onto Baragra and push her away. And she looks up. I'll be back. And her wings, all four, extend, and she takes off. You see to your right as you are impaled by this thick, impaling spear. You hear a little crackling noise and see the flag of Wrath as he stands next to you. Your head hangs slightly low as you're kind of elevated like 3 feet off the ground by the spear, and he grabs you by your long hair on the back of your head and holds your neck up.
And he says, "Oh, I didn't really need any more target practice, but I appreciate it."
And you see him like open his hand, and the spear begins to fall once again.
And he says, "I hope whatever you said was worth it."
And he begins to raise it up as she gets like 60, 70, 80 feet away.
I tell him, I may not be the one to kill you, but believe me, my kin will find you. And I just give him the most shit-eating grin.
Blood pooling from the mouth. His big, brute form. He smiles and says,
"Oh, that's what I'm counting on."
and the spear, instead of being thrown at Baragra, gets shoved into your side.
You and I are gonna become very close, champ.
And his laughter echoes and echoes and echoes. As the light begins to fade from your eyes, not due to death, but due to unconscious, just becoming unconscious from the shock of pain. The next few days are an unbearable, exhausting, and torturous demonstration in the brutality of wrath. You awake, not knowing how many hours after, chained, like the dragons, muzzles put on, chains around your wrists, your ankles, your sides, and you become very acquainted with the sight of wrath and the feeling of pain. As every moment that you are able to draw breath, he strikes at you with various tools, knives, daggers formed of the same hardened ash, cutting deep, scars being carved into your chest, your back, countless heaps of flesh untethered from your body and reformed by some means. A full day of torture under this, and the whole time not a word is spoken, not even giving you the chance at, no matter if you would say anything or not. His face is just a smile that overcomes. That's the first day. And as the second day begins to come, you awake once again to feel and begin again those adventures into the depths of hell. This time it's not Wrath, but another demonic creature. The same ones you fought on the north side of town with their kind of like half-shrunken body and the large wings. Each of them take turn on your fingers and toes, carving them off and casting them to the side. The pain passes you out immediately. You are awoken again, who knows how quickly after, them back, but fresh and raw skin form. And you feel like you've been here for longer than you've sailed the seas. One final time you wake, and you hope that this is the final moment. And instead, the chains release around your wrists, chain in your ankles and stomach. Muzzle falls off, and they are instead replaced with enchainments behind your back. And Wrath says,
Well, let's call this a learning lesson, yeah? Go on. Go back to your city. And let the others know. Go, my little puppet.
he kicks you in the back. The two demons that have been your tormentors for the last 2 days cackle and drag you back through bones and stone and earth, your hair tattered and covered in blood and these bone fragments, your hands and feet raw and bristling with needle-like pain, and you are dragged across the battlements and thrown into the crater. And as you tumble, still chained up, your hair sloughs in front of your face, and you only see through the slits of your braids the large and what remains walls of Capstone. Unsure of why you went through this, what's transpired, how long, but only knowing pain at that moment. All of you, the beginning morning of the second day is alerted by loud resounding bells. As the sound, a guard, ding, 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 ding. General! Somebody runs in, a figure you've probably begun to rely on now. That same woman, the Furbolg woman, kind of big blocky nose and chin, kind of a heavier set.
The fleet admiral, he's been found outside the gates. He's chained. We have him. The medics are bringing him back to the tent now.
All of you are alerted and gather at the medic tent, and you see an alarming, almost a crude redrawing of what was once Redolus. Face, lips scarred, the chest completely covered in numerous pink inflamed edges. You can tell what's transpired without even having to ask. And Redolus, you finally let the exhaustion take your body and just collapse on the medic tent as your 4 allies stand over. A small little healing potion is threaded through your lips. You awake, exhausted, and you see and expect the daggers, expect the pain, the searing cuttingness, and it doesn't come. And it almost scares you more as you stare out at the Frey's allies.
As I look out, I do get flashbacks of the first time when they did similar things to me. But who do I see first?
I imagine it's Fenric.
Meneric?
Tormund right behind his shoulder.
Seeing their faces, I kind of assume this is another form of torture, and I look around to maybe see Wrath or those demonoids. But seeing no one there, a sense of almost unwavering fear still compels him to just lower his head. But instead of expecting the pain, he just kind of just dozes off.
You all see him as he opens his eyes slowly. Potion goes through his lips. There's a twinge of fear that comes over his face. And then just like, not serenity, but just like acceptance as he drifts back off into unconsciousness.
I'm gonna grab like the nearest nurse or whatever, and I'm gonna say, give this man space. When he's unconscious, tend his wounds. When he wakes, you give him space. He's been through hell and back.
Understood. We'll make sure. We'll get him his own private thing. I could have done this.
As you all also notice, as you're looking at him, apart from the numerous torturous cuts and gashes and scabs and festering wounds, something else sticks out to you that some of you might not have noticed before, but the protruding crystals at his shoulders have grown and are sistered and accompanied by dozens more riddled out through his arms, his feet, his legs, his chest. Very small ones, maybe like a quarter inch, half inch protruding. But the same kind of material now extending out of his body. Where there was once 2, there are now 4, 5 dozen tiny little stalagmites, crystal piercing through the skin.
Noticing this, I'm gonna, as that nurse like turns away, I'm gonna grab her arm again, and I'm gonna say, separate tent for sure. Make sure it's far from the others. I will arrange a private guard. Let no one in but the waitstaff.
Of course. It'll be done. Now please, we need to tend to his wounds. Unless infection take him.
She begins to like try to wash around, and you two, get the tent separate. Get ready.
I grab Tormund's shoulder, like as I turn around. And is Guidus with us, or is he still?
Yeah, I would have. If I heard that he was at the front gate, I would have come with.
Okay.
Tormund looks
I'm gonna
fucking
grab-
pissed right now.
I'm gonna grab Tormund's shoulder and look at Guidus, and I'm gonna say, we need to have a team meeting. Main tent.
Just shake my head and I'll go towards there to get a Kuji.
As you guys walk out, Tormund's gonna stand there for a second looking at Redulus and just so fucking just angry on his face. And then he'll walk away with you guys.
You all meet within the large tent, the war table, the maps All the papers laid out, a little crackling brazier with a little pot of soup from the morning breakfast still cooking in the corner. The scent of ash is still fresh in the air.
I believe we all need to arrive on the same page. I think we have all encountered the same battle and yet experienced many different things since then. I would like to come up with a plan. The return of Redulus is exciting but unsettling. Whatever let him go did so on purpose. In the same way that you were fearful of me coming back from my fall, I could see Redulus's return as not 100% positive. I would like to hear what we've all learned since the battle.
Tormund is going to grab his glaive and throw it into the ground, blade first, as hard as he can. And then he's going to say, "What sick fucking creature does that to someone? It's like an animal playing with its prey."
That is the perfect way to put it. That's all it is. He gave Redulus back because he could.
Might have been better to just kill him outright than to make him suffer through that.
I agree. Akuji, in all your wanderings in this world and others, have you seen anything of this nature?
Would this remind me of my past of home?
Please roll me a history check with advantage.
It's gonna be a 13.
There is something vaguely there is something familiar about this in the absolute desecration of the body and the inhumane nature in which it was done. That does remind you of the forges and the pain and screaming that you had there and that you've experienced yourself. But there's something different about it, like they're like an almost like a personal spin on it. But the fact that it does remind you is alarming, because nothing on this plane should be able to do something like that.
All I know is this reminds me of home. Yet it's a little different. I'm unsure why he's even back.
I don't want to press. We all have our own pasts, but can you elaborate? Is there any insight you can give us? Can we even trust Redulus at this point? Do you know anything of our enemy?
There, can I check to see if there's any like magical kind of thing to this,
Yeah,
or if
give me an
he's
Arcana check.
okay? It's a nat 20, 30, baby.
Very nice.
Yes, profoundly magical, running through him. These you. I don't remember if you've seen those crystals before, but you recognize the same formation and resemblance to them is similar to the ones found deep beneath in the underground area that you had found. Slightly different, but the placement of them and the nature of them also seems somewhat ritualistic. Like they're not just like scattered randomly. They're almost in a sort of starburst formation across his body. And there is something you find that is like they were purposely doing that. Like this was on purpose. The scars and stuff and torture, that might have been personal, but the crystals were definitely done on purpose.
Placed. We can trust him about as much as we can trust you, Venric, but he's given us no reason to doubt.
I cannot combat that statement. I know that trust between all of us has been hesitant, to say the least. I appreciate the length that you all have given me, and I believe we should do the same for Redulus. Since our allies are fewer than our enemies, and our answers are fewer than the questions, we can only take what we are given. And even if Redulus is only partly there, we must trust that. I ask now to all of you what our next move is.
Well, real quick, just a little more bad news. Couldn't help myself the other night whenever you came back, Venric. I went out. I looked around that crater. I believe that Goran, well, his body wandered into the enemy lines. Couldn't tell you if it was him or not, but it looked like it was his tracks.
I trust your tracking skills, but should he have not been incinerated in the blast?
That's what I would have thought, but
Why would he openly walk towards the enemy lines? Unless he became one of those things we were fighting.
I'm gonna guess that's what happened. I don't know what's distinguishing free will from not, like Venric seems to have.
Tormund's gonna walk to like the entrance of the tent. There's guards there, right? Like around
Correct.
that area. What weapons are they holding?
One of them has a spear and a shield. The other has like a long sword at their side.
Okay. The one with the spear, I'm gonna go up to him and take his spear and I'm gonna snap it in half. and then toss it. And then say sorry and go back in.
He doesn't.
Of course.
Just terrified.
On a brief passive insight check, you can see like he was sad that might have been like a personal item for him, but
Of course, champion.
and a little tear slowly runs down his face.
A family heirloom.
Passed down from his great grandfather.
He cared about that thing just as much as you did your
Survived.
life.
30 years on the battlefield.
You might as well have killed him.
I'm gonna lift my hand to him to like dissuade him, and I'm gonna say to the armory, anything you need, you're relieved.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
He bows deeply, and you hear as he walks away. The other soldier stiffens up a little tighter and grabs and moves their sword a little closer to the.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at his sword. Does it look special?
Maybe investigation check.
Okay.
If Tormund moves to break that, I'm gonna intervene for sure.
13.
13. It looks pretty like a standard sword. Special about it.
I'll let it go, seeing how that other dude reacted.
He's just standing there like if a T-Rex was looking at him, just trying not to move.
I want to walk back into the guys and say, sorry, I just didn't want to break my own glaive.
Tormund, I love you as a brother, but our supplies are limited. The morale with the soldiers is low, so next time, please.
I just got so angry thinking about Gorn fighting for the other side that I had to let it out somehow.
Brother, that's not Gorn. If it's the other side, it's not him. Believe me.
And that's worse.
It would be his body, not his soul, not his person, not the Gorn you know.
I actually hope he's dead. Rather than have to go through what Redulus went through.
I agree. And I'm going to look at Gaius as I say this, I'll say. And I still believe and hope that Gorn is what brought us back, and nothing sinister.
A bell rings. Ding, 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 ding. 5 times. The sound of the dawn arising. The day of the celestial solstice.
Well, Gaius, looks like we are still here on the day. Seems foolish to leave at this point. Will you enlighten me on why you thought we should hold this fort?
Well, to be fair, I didn't want to at first, but if you would have told me to leave, not even 20 minutes before that fight, I would have. But everything changed when we found Gucci's little friend. Told us the things he said. I mean, we still don't have any answers, but that is the thing that has to be what's keeping them out for the time being. I don't know.
Oh, and how many days has it been since we arrived at the port?
This will be the
48
beginning
hours.
of the... No.
72.
Like 4 or 5 days.
This will be the beginning of the 4th day.
And we
Third
need to be back.
You said this is the 3rd day?
Correct.
The beginning of it?
3 days from now? 4 days from now.
Nope, 4th day. Sorry.
Beginning of the
There's a
4th.
day in
That's
between
what
there.
a
4th day. Beginning of the 4th day. Write it down. Beginning of the 4th day. Now, remember.
I'm gonna say it, everyone. Well, we've been here 4 days, so it seems we've almost kept our promise to the Primus already.
I agree. And even though my stance has changed slightly, I do trust Gaius, what you guys saw down the earth, and whatever Akuji's friend was that for some reason I was able to understand. Still puzzles me, but regardless, we do not have our dragons to return home to Protenheim. That trek will take more time than it took us to get here. There are many things to consider.
Kuji can take us there.
But can he take every soldier in this fort?
No.
I don't think every soldier in this fort is going to make the next
I think
48 hours.
Slowly maybe begun to realize it, but there's not going to be very many people who are going to live, who are going to walk away from here.
And that's what I'm fearful of. So, should we not send them on their way and hold this place by ourselves?
We sent the
Would that-
civilians right? We sent the civilians towards
Oh, yeah.
Birmingham already.
The
little
civilians are
ones that were left.
evacuated.
So all that's left is just the soldiers and us, and like the healers.
A
and
couple
stuff.
clerics from the two temples that are here, the one to Melora, the Wild Mother, and the one to Theroth. The unending, whatever his name is. As well as a few, like, literally, like, physical nurses, like, battle nurses. Like, they are in the military. Everybody who's here is, like, chose to be here. Is signed up for this. Except probably for the temples.
I think everyone who's here knows what they got into, and just like Goran, they're willing to fall for this.
But even still, we know more, and we are responsible for them. Should we not pit ourselves against the enemy, as we have before? Their added effort to this is almost insignificant. Should we not spare their lives, bolster Protontime's ranks, send them on their way, knowing that even at the end of this, we're just going to teleport back? It is only a question that has been weighing heavily on my mind, seeing the aftermath of the previous battle.
I think even if we take them and leave, that army of the dead will find us. Because I would think the dead creatures can travel a lot longer and farther than those that need to rest and sleep.
My point exactly. If we don't
As
send them
you-
on their way now, and we teleport away even after the battle, would the undead not catch up to these ranks and decimate them before they get back to Protonheim?
Guidus, you notice the soldier that spear was snapped arrives at the tent flap and stands there like waiting while Tormund and Venric are in like a heated discussion. There's an alert look on his face.
Is he looking in at us, or is he?
Yeah, like waiting, like they're like back and forth,
Oh.
saying thing.
I'll just walk to the door and I'll look at him. Something.
Champion, you should come out.
And he kind of guides you out.
I'll just follow him.
Akuji, Venric, and Tormund, you are all still in discussion over what to do, the intense nature of this, what's to come, how to prepare for the next few days. The soldier says, I was on my way out to the armory on the northern side, and I saw in the sky, and he points up, and through the morning as the sun slowly rises, that morning fog, not like as thick as it was on the day of the battle at the gate, just that kind of faint effort, that faint glow of the morning dew. You see in the sun a little bit of a twinkling, and then the size of far away miles of something flying, and like a flock.
We were all instructed, alerted to notify you of anything. Ariel,
I can't. I assume it's way too far to tell what it is.
Perception check. You hear increased, maybe not shouting, but heated back and forth dialogue coming from the tent.
I rolled a 19 plus 6 is 25.
You see several shapes, and they appear to be large, flying towards the fort from the kind of northwestern section of town.
Am I still close to the tent where they're at?
Yes, you're like 5
Just
feet
right
away,
outside
10 feet away. Yeah.
I'll just kind of look back and I'll just yell champions, hoping to break their arguing.
I was about to
So
swing on Venric, so it's good that you said that.
I would
you
walk
see-
away and
we're
go towards
heated.
Gaius.
I have more bad news.
Great. Let's hear it.
Look outside.
And with my passive perception, I would see that immediately.
You notice maybe 5, 6, 7 large figures flying, wings flapping, probably like 3 or 4 miles, 5 miles away, maybe
Well,
10
which-
feet.
Direction are they coming from? Actually, that's probably good to know.
From the northwest.
So from the hordes and stuff.
Kind of, but more northern, where like the mountain range is kind of where you guys marched from after the debunked teleport.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say to everyone, I know what I hope this is, but even still. And then I'll whistle to rally archers to ready, just in case.
Yes, sir. 20 or 30 begin to ready bows, and the wings.
Do we have telescopes or anything like that around here? Is that a thing? Like
No, that
little-
doesn't exist. bro.
Whatever you
Kaleidoscopes,
call 'em,
just to
the
look at.
things that
Yeah,
shit
there is
people
a
use.
kaleidoscope.
Whoa.
There's a microscope. They've invented the microscope, but they haven't thought to make shit bigger.
Just pointing up at the sky, blinding myself.
Tormen's just doing this.
You wait. The soldiers wait. And the winged fingers come more into focus. And you see there aren't just 6 or 7, but there's 12 enormous looking flying creatures. And the glinting from them, flashing, is not appear to be scales or weapons, but armor glistening, a saddle strapped. The first in the pack you see flying as they begin to make a descent, a dark black feathered large raven, giant raven with silvered armor that descends slowly. Behind them, followed, are 11 white owls, eagles of various natures that begin to descend in a spiraling circle. Kuji, you make out a color scheme on the front one wearing the black. A familiar color that you haven't, a banner you haven't seen in a while. Harrowing from Vasselheim. And as they begin to descend, they maybe are like 600 feet out, and all the archers, you hear like the straining on the bowstrings as the archers. General, do we fire?
Hold. Don't you dare loose those bowstrings until we know.
The large creatures slowly begin to descend into the city square. You swear you could hear a drop of water hit the ground. Before finally, in a perfect V formation, all dozen of these riders land. These creatures, and on top of them, mirroring 12 humanoid individuals wearing illustrious armor across them. The one on the dark feathered raven juts off, lands on the ground, sleek, not heavy. A sleek, feminine form, still coated in plate armor with glistening blue and gold and silver threaded linings, a helmet completely covering their face, but you can definitely tell a female armor smith or a female warrior beneath this. And at her side, simple like rapier, glistening with jewels and coloring. Coloring. There's
Kitchen
forks and
knives.
shit. There's a spork. They land, and she says something in a language you all don't comprehend. Aviscoreste! They all dismount. And she holds up her hand. Please, be at ease. We are here by request of the Primus. We hail from Vasselheim. She slowly starts to take a knee. We are the Hallowed Harriers. Kuji, you recognize that to be of a vagabond-like military that are severely devout to the gods. Paladins by right, all of them. And they are like a hit force that is not controlled by the army. They are like a privately owned family military, like militia. And they are renowned in Vasselheim.
Are they badass? Are they kind of badass?
They are, from what you know, they are more frightening to fight than almost anything else that Vasselheim has to offer. They just wash through and clean through anything, and they're usually used as like a police force, like a SWAT squad. Like they arrive and it's like, shit, all right, hey, I fucked up, my bad, and they hands behind the head. All right, hey,
I didn't mean it.
Let's chill out.
It was a prank.
Okay.
I'd say Tormund's kind of walking around them, like sizing them up.
There's like a 50-foot gap between the ragged army left in Capstone and the glistening armor carriers of Vasselheim.
Have I interacted with them before?
No, never.
But I know who they are, kind of, pretty much. All right.
The leader of this seems to stand up. All of them still, their faces covered, all with like the similar armor. She says, "I'm sorry we could not have arrived earlier. Our spellmasters within Vasselheim were supposed to bring us close, but they are unfamiliar with this land. We heard you needed assistance in holding this place, and we come bearing critical information as well from the Western Front. Who among you leads?" She holds her head up high.
I'm gonna whistle again for the archers to disengage and go at the low ready. So not like on string, but not.
They're notched, but they're not drawn.
And
I'm gonna
since
walk up. Go ahead.
since I don't know Akuji knows them, I'm gonna step forward and say, if you could have attacked us, you would have. But that does not mean that we trust you yet. Who are you?
I would kind of probably cut off Venric to be the first one to speak and maybe just put my arm out. Say, what is your purpose here? Are you here to help? And what is this information you bring? And I would maybe give Venric a nod.
As you say that, one of the figures next to the woman, who seems to be the leader of this, wearing similarly decorated armor compared to the rest, steps out and a man's voice comes forth underneath the helmet.
You all don't sound grateful for assistance. Maybe we should all just head on our way, yes?
And the hand slaps out and hits his chest and rings from the woman. And she says,
Quiet yourself and your temper. Can't you see this place? This is a war zone, not a diplomatic party. Yes, we are here to help at the request of the Primus. He said you would need assistance in holding this, and we would have gotten here sooner, but the magics at work put us off our destination. Now, and she begins to slowly take off, if you will, takes off her helmet, and you see a beautiful golden flowing, like wheat colored hair that goes down in a tight bun though at the top. Refined features. She has these bright blue eyes, pointed nose, few scars, but like not that stick out. All of you roll me a history check.
I'm gonna look at Akuji and I'm just going to like raise an eyebrow but nod. Like, if you know what's going on, go ahead.
Would I also know of this group?
You've heard of them, yes. Roll me with advantage on that, Guidus.
And Tormund?
No.
Oh, dude, thank you. I rolled a 5, and then you said advantage, and then I rolled a 17.
I got
I
a
got a
natural 1.
20
Okay.
total.
Got a
16.
19 on the die for 22.
Guidus, Guidus, Akuji, and Venric, as she takes the helmet off and says, I have good news for you. The demonic forces are retreating back towards the coastline in droves. We arrived not too far away from the coastline, our teleportation, and flew for 2 straight nights and saw them amassing, converging on these towers and disappearing. The land is still scarred, but their forces have reduced to merely a fraction. Maybe a third remains of what was once there. And a big smile crests across her face, and at that moment, there's something oddly familiar about that smile that comes across. The figure that was kind of annoyingly caustic before takes his helmet off, and curly golden hair that comes out the sides. A male. He's got this kind of scar that comes across his eye down the side, a brilliant white shining smile. He says, and we ended up cleaning up some of it along the way too. So you're welcome. And he kind of leans forward, and she kind of looks at him, punches him in the chest, and he goes, oh! And she says, I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive my brother. He's a little bit boisterous since we've been trapped in Vasselheim several months now. But a request from family, can't disregard that.
When she says that she was trapped in Vasselheim, can I insight check that?
Yeah, insight.
Did we ask what their names are?
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
Uh, 16.
16. You can. What are you trying to gain from? Like they're lying.
Yeah. I want to know if they really were being held in Vasselheim or if it was a.
Yeah, I see. You see that there's it's truth behind that. They apparently have been like trapped, not trapped, but like they've been in Vasselheim. And were finally allowed to be let go. It seems
By magical means, right? Or I
Yes.
guess I would.
from the when she mentioned being teleported by spellsmiths before.
I would try to look into what, if I know anything about what that possibly mean, or
Okay, Arcana check with advantage actually on this.
the
Also-
18.
What alarms you is she says teleport. You've only recently been able to do that, and you know the limitations of that spell. They can only send a certain amount of people. That means somebody sent them twice if there's a dozen of them. And there's only one person you know in Vasselheim that probably could have done that, and it's probably Ezra.
That's what I
And
meant,
that
right?
Scares you. Yeah.
Like that's a female character. Okay.
No, that's the guy you didn't want to meet, who is the head of the
Oh.
Contrarum.
Okay, okay.
Contrarum.
All right.
Well, what kind of weapons are these guys holding?
Various. There's maces, hammers, long swords, axes, great axes, and then the ones at the front. One of them is like holding a long sword, and the woman is holding like a rapier at her side. Please.
That's it.
Go ahead.
You all look quite capable. What are your
We are.
names?
Quite. Hi. I'm the Righteous Blade. Azadella of House von Heinrichs. This is my brother Halton von Heinrichs. And this is the Hallowed Harriers.
God, I hate you, Colin. I stab her in the fucking chest.
Can I ask,
And the bloodline.
just directly, like, have the dragons done anything lately. More in curiosity of like just looking for what may have happened to Goran.
We did not notice any dragons on our flight in, but if you mean for the Scaled Wardens at Vasselheim, they've been separated to two separate continents for some time now. So, please, we should talk battle plans and regiments. Please, me and my brother are commanding all of you. I said, okay, get it. And she says something, and all of the other helmeted individuals walk over and mount on their birds. We'll send them out on a patrol to check out your borders while they do that, while we discuss battle tactics. And they begin to walk. The male and female, Azadella and Halton, begin to walk forward.
Before they get too close, I'm gonna lean in to Venric and say it quiet enough, without saying too much. I'm not from your world, and there's only one place that scares me here, and it's Vasselheim. And I'll walk into the tent.
And as you say that, that's when Venric, Akuji, and Gaius, you all realize the smile that came across her face. It looks a lot like the Primus's smile.
Yeah.
Come.
As we're walking into him, I'll go to Venric and say, I guess this makes our decision much easier.
What decision?
To stay and fight.
Yes, I understand. I don't think that we had a say in the matter. It seems as events have dictated again what we are to accomplish.
And I'll walk in.
The two of them place their weapons to the side. Say, well, as Adela speaks up, what do you have to report? What should we know? Anything that we can use to fight against these creatures?
Well, as you can see, your help is much appreciated. Guard is very minimal. Our walls are breached at many points.
Yes, they're pretty trash. The male speaks up. It looks like they could be scared in the day, and good thing they're retreating. She looks over. We noticed flying in a brilliant light a few nights ago. Shook the earth. Creatures are running from here. I imagine that has something to do with craters near the outside of the walls.
I'm going to look at Holden and I'm going to say, everything looks a lot simpler when you're up in the sky, far from the danger, huh?
Yes, and those above us see a lot more. I take it you are Venric.
I see I don't need an introduction, but
no, Abaddon won't stop writing about you and heroics, so no.
Yet I'm unfamiliar with you.
Makes sense. Vasselheim, bloodlines, they are a tight resource up in the north. Not similar to down here. Not at all. And since he's taken on his title, he seems to have forgotten his little family, hasn't he, brother? Alton looks up and... Yes, seems to forget where all of this was made possible.
Well, regardless of Abaddon, we are here now, all of us, together. And if you truly wish to help, the demons, as you say, the undead, they are truly gone. That is good news. As you can see, our resources are thin. That is not the most pressing matter here.
No, there is... No, we noticed it on the way. This, what did you say? What were the undead? No, but a familiar stench. Something rotten. You sense it, brother, yes? Kind of It's almost as stench-filled as this tent. It's coming from somewhere. Look, I can sense it. He stands up. Have you secured every part of this city?
Well, as much as we could with our resources, but it seems that this stench that you smell still lingers because the danger is not fully gone.
Yes, yes. And he stands up and walks out of the tent. And she, brother, sorry, he's just very. And she stands up and clinks and starts to follow. And he walks out into the courtyard again.
I'm gonna follow them.
Same.
Quickly, you find him outside of one of the temples, and he bangs on the door. Open up! And he kicks the door and walks into the temple. Large and dark, kind of colored stone, purple wood. The same one that Goran was holed up in for some time. And you hear a loud scream and a clatter. And he arrives back outside dragging a pudgy, bald-headed, liver-spotted, rotund man out. Throws him to the courtyard. Yeah, this is where it's coming from. It's you. And he draws out the sword. Shing! You're the stench on this place, aren't you, worm? And he kneels down slowly. Father, that took care, says, I don't even know what you're saying. Get your hands off of me. I am a follower of... And then in one quick motion, the male paladin slices off. And you see this fire, this like celestial flame burn through his neck. And he... and his head rolls off to the ground and blood spews out. And the whole courtyard, you hear swords, shing, 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 shing. Ready their weapons.
Whoa.
Halt.
Get like a good portion of that.
Yeah.
You said,
I'm pulling.
I heard shing, 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 and then it cut out.
As they ready their weapons, the soldiers around begin, like, as this man just straight up dude.
Yeah, I'm pulling the axe right up to his neck, and I'm saying, I don't care who you are. You cannot murder anyone without fair trial. Explain yourself. And I'm looking at the other champions too, like, yo, what's going on?
The man smiles a deep shit-eating grin. And he says, I'm just doing your job. And then a hand smacks him in the chest. And she says, stand back, you fucking idiot. This thing is emanating the stench that we felt on the way in. Part of whatever was occurring here was coming from the thing. I can't describe it if you're not touched celestially. This... And he should have said something. But he seems to act without other caution. Please. And she takes out, or like unlatches her weapon and kind of places. No fighting here. We are comrades. I implore you. This was for your benefit.
As much as I want to believe you, you've now murdered a man in our fort without anything.
I'm going to cast telepathic bond on me and the other champions.
Okay, you weave obviously in front of everybody this magical enchantment, and it goes off.
I'm then going to walk directly up to the lady bird and say, I will find what the fuck you're up to, and teleport to Vasselheim.
And with that, we'll end tonight's session right there.
Uh-oh.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
How you do shit like that, Shoop, and then just have the most straight look on your face?
And I'm gonna figure it out.
And he's gone.
You teleport you or you teleport us too?
Me.
Oh my gosh.
We're down a champion.
How-
God damn it.
How are we supposed to get out of here?
We'll figure it out.
We won't.
Better last a day. Or two.
Riddleless, you're laying on the bed right now, bro.
Oh no,
And
dude!
we will see what happens next time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, next
I
weekend.
counterspell it.
From the bed.
Crazy.
You should.
Crazy session. Thank you guys. I'm sorry that was so heavy in a lot of different ways. But the story is unfolding in a man.
Jordan, if you hearing this, make that new character, brother.
Nah, he's out. His bank account ran dry. So
Oh, so that's why.
you should think of like your $10 bills as like hit points.
No.
So like once
He-
those run out,
He texted me actually, and he said, "Can I get on your
Something
player
like that.
contract?" And I said, "I'll see what I can do."
there are family packs, but you have to like it's a court document. So
Tell him
get it
Akuji's on
notarized.
it.
I have a
Akuji's
notary.
on
I have
it.
a notary.
Colin, before we,
Uh,
I'd like to ask Isabella and Holton if they have any other siblings we should know about, or family members.
Well, they kind of blatantly said it, in just a minute ago. I mean, they
Well, no,
implied it pretty heavy that,
other than
What's,
Abaddon. Other than Abaddon.
What's the name of this group? I forget.
Because remember, Colt and
The
Isaac,
what?
you might remember from
I'll
my
play
last campaign.
yeah, I'm
Carlisle.
well aware. Yeah,
Is it
I'm well
Carlisle?
aware of the name.
Carnile.
Hendrix.
Carnile. I wonder if that motherfucker's still, you know.
Who knows? Maybe so.
What's
All I
also
gotta
crazy
say
is
is-
their company was called the Halton Hendricks.
We still ain't dead. That's all I gotta say. Okay. Another day, another session.
We're alive.
You know what I'm
Some of us
saying?
Alive
wish
in
we were
this
dead.
shit.
I'm sorry for imaginarily torturing you, Isaac. I hope it wasn't something
Nah,
that
it's-
scarred you deeply.
It's all good, bro. As long as I draw breath,
Man.
I'm going.
And a foundation salute to Goran, the first hand, the first real casualty and player death that I've had the DM for.
Wow, he's the first. Damn.
Colin's
I
killed
would've-
people, but we've always brought him back somehow.
I would have been the first.
It's crazy.
Are you talking about Volder?
Yeah.
Yeah, Volder would have been the first.
That's crazy.
Volder's death was way sadder than Goran's too, so. I'm just kidding.
Dude, whenever you
That's crazy.
whenever
you
we
open
were at the
your
part
mouth.
where you two were in the tent talking, Venric and Tormund, you know, and then you said that guard came up to the tent. I wasn't paying attention at all. I was reading my notebook. I was reading my doc and stuff. So it was almost kind of perfect how you did it. It kind of like broke my concentration. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I really liked.
What?
I really liked how we went like the way the session was structured.
Yeah,
Like
flow
we
You see
well.
one side and
Yeah.
then you see the other.
Yeah.
I really liked.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I really liked how it was like 2 days later here, and then now we're back to right after the explosion with